Hey, it's Dan. Welcome back. You're watching iAllegedly, and I've got a good one for you today because there's no more cash in the ATMs. You can get rid of the ATMs as soon as possible. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and today we have a sponsor, Patriot Gold Group. Guys, we've talked about a cashless society forever, and as you vote certain people into your lives, you're going to see more and more of these banks get rid of ATMs and get rid of cash. In Australia, they want to go to a digital currency. And you can sit there and say, oh, that's fine. And everything's digital anyways. I pay with my debit card. I rarely go to the branch. But here's the thing. They want to get rid of cash. Now, they did a survey of 20,000 people in Australia, and 98% said they don't want to get rid of cash. They want to maintain the cash system and have the ability not to refuse cash deposits and cash withdrawals and the ability to pay with cash. I'm telling you, you want to negotiate better, have cash in your hand. You want to buy stuff at a discount, a public place, have cash in hand. Okay? You can make better deals with that. Now, they're saying that between 2016 and 2021, they had 12% less ATMs. Since that time, it stepped up to 18% less ATMs, and they're not adding new ones. That's the problem. So with that, do you want to live in a world without cash? Seriously, we've talked about this. A lot of cities in this country, because of the poor communities, Los Angeles is one of them. They put an ordinance through. You have to accept cash in your business. You can't deny cash. You can have digital payments and things like that, but if somebody wants to pay in cash, you have to accept cash. The old people and the poorest community are the ones that get affected the most. And I'm the guy that tells you to have cash on hand too. You know, think about this one. Bay Area Rapid Transit, the BART system, was down for 3.5 hours this week. Okay? And you can sit there and say, oh, that's no big deal. It's a huge deal, guys, because people couldn't get anywhere. People were stuck on trains. People were late for work. It was not working. What happens when the ATMs go down? What happens when there's no power? There was an earthquake in Tennessee over the weekend. What? Yeah, 4.1, which is nothing, guys. It's a little girl's earthquake, okay? But still, they don't have earthquakes there. So with that being said, what would happen if an earthquake took out, you know, ATMs for miles around you? Okay? Couldn't use your credit cards, couldn't use your debit cards. How rare is that, Dan? How often does that happen? It happens enough that you need to be prepared for it. But right now, they anticipate that you could definitely see in the next 30 years, if it goes at the glacier pace, you'd have 2050, you'd have no more ATMs in any banks in Australia. Norway, it's much faster. If it goes at the glacial pace, it would be 11 years. But the pace that they've stepped it up recently to with the closures of the bank, it could be as fast as 5 years and you would not have an ATM to transact from. That is wild, guys. It's absolutely wild when you think about that. And, the next thing is we're going to see major food price increases. And with the problem with farming, now, farming has been down year after year after year. If you were on my email chain and you got things from the farmers, they would tell you how output has been diminishing year after year after year. The number of cattle that are out there diminishing year after year after year. And you're going to see, they say, easily this summer, where you're going to see food shortages and not have, the shelf stocked. It's going to look like Rite Aid times 10. So get yourself ready for that, guys. Prepare yourself for this. Make sure you stock up on things you need. Make sure you stock up on prescription drugs. Again, I get people. My insurance will never allow that for me to have extra drugs in the house. Well, if you have something like a diabetic drug, drugs for Parkinson's, or anything, go talk to your doctor and talk to your insurance company and say you're concerned about the closures. You're concerned about Rite Aid shutting down and sending you to CVS and Walgreens, and you hate both those companies. You want to make sure you have an extra month on hand so you can determine who you want to do business with. Remember, you're the consumer. You get to do what's right, but don't fall for this nonsense. The digital currency and the digital world is not a good place to be. I am telling you this right now, guys. They want to track everything that you do. Okay, you can sit there and say, why is it? The driving, think about this. And I talked about this with my cousin yesterday, and that was charging you per mile for your car registration. There's some people that go, oh, Dan, I drive 100 miles a day. I could care less. It's no big deal. It's a huge deal, guys. You're a 52-year-old woman that makes these stops, and then they sell that data on you. And they will do that because they all do that because they're all criminals when it comes to your privacy being neglected. And, oh, don't worry about it. And then when they get sued, you'll get, a check for $38 because they gave up everything personal about you. When you purchase something, there's trends, guys. Why do you go to this bar so much? Why do you buy concert tickets so much? Sure, you go to Las Vegas a lot. Again, nobody's business on what you spend money on. Gosh, what if they stop selling seeds? What if they stop selling livestock and things like that? Yeah. Oh, how rare would that be, Dan? Yeah. Okay. You know, Here's the thing. In the UK, there's a great study on how selfies, first of all, when you take a picture, I take a picture right here, a selfie, there's a timestamp to that in the iPhone. You know exactly where I was, know everything about that. And that's a big deal because it's great for verification. It's great if you have a lawsuit. And I know a man that was accused of doing a crime, and he had a girlfriend that hated him. And then the picture was doctored. And the thing that saved him, and he did not go to jail, I met this man in a restaurant, was the fact that the timestamp on it was altered, and her attorney was too stupid to know that. And the case was dismissed like that because it said the picture was edited. Okay? So, your privacy is not your own. Remember that. And all these people want to follow your purchases. They want to follow everything that you spend, and it's a big, big deal. Okay? So, let me know what you think about this. I think it's absolutely horrible that we're seeing more and more of these uh, banks shutting down, all the branches, you know, all these branches. Wells Fargo, Flagstar, TD, Bank of America. Have you noticed 22 here, 24 there? It's just one after another are closing branches. Again, poorest and the oldest community members are the ones that suffer the most. Remember that whenever a branch closes. And then every time I do one of these bank videos, when was the last time you were in a branch? Friday, guys. Friday. Okay? Try sending a wire transfer. This is my favorite thing. People that send wire transfers do it from the app over their phone, and they make a mistake. It's on you. And again, I should insert profanity right there because it is your A when you do that, and it's not them. Sure you got the right numbers? Yeah. Okay. Well, somebody just got $38,000. Okay. Anyways, it's more to cover. Let's talk about our sponsor, Patriot Gold Group. Guys, get yourself into precious metals in your retirement. Do it now before it's too late. The best place to do it is #1 rated Patriot Gold Group. A year ago, gold was at $2,150 an ounce, and it shot up as high as $3,500 an ounce. Contact #1 rated Patriot Gold Group today, 888-330-1431. #1 rated with Consumer Affairs for 9 years in a row. Over 10,000 transactions with the company. They have done over $1 billion in sales. Contact #1 rated. #1 rated for a very good reason. Let them know that Dan from iAllegedly sent you. If you don't want to call, use the link below, but look at what all the banks are doing. UBS, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Goldman Sachs have all said that we could see $4,000 an ounce gold. You don't want to miss out on this. Contact them today. That number again, 888-330-1431. Contact them today. Do it now before it's too late. It is a beautiful day out here today, and one thing that is disturbing whenever we have supply chain talk is inevitably there's criminals out there and the criminal element that's trying to figure out how to rip people off. Well, now we're seeing cargo ships get robbed. We're seeing semis get robbed en route to stores and to warehouses, dropping goods and merchandise off. Now you can sit there and say, oh, they must be stealing beef. They must be stealing caviar, things that are expensive. No, they're stealing paper towels, guys. They're stealing toilet paper. They're stealing, they're stealing everything that they can right now. And that's what you run into when you have times like this. Isn't that beautiful, guys? It's like Hawaii out there. So you're going to see supply chain issues. It's going to happen. Dr. Marvin brought that great article to us about how it takes 45 days to 60 days for a cargo ship to get here, and you've got things stopped right now. So just a matter of time until you're going to sit there and see this stuff hopefully eventually get caught up. Who knows if it will. Now, one thing that people have been sending me is people that are panic buying. And, I thought, well, isn't it just Mother's Day weekend? Are people just going to the store? No, the Trader Joe's had a line in front of it because people were worried about certain things they couldn't get from Trader Joe's in the future. Guys, do not panic buy. Do not buy into this, okay? The COVID thing was one thing because we're all supposed to be locked in our houses. But man, you should have enough to live in your house as far as dry goods and things like that for an emergency for at least a month. You really should. But, again, my cousin and I were talking about, he travels all the time. He's around the country, and where are you today is what we always play. But he can't shop for an extended period of time because, he's going to be at his house 3 days, and then the next 28 days, he's gone 24 of the 28 days out of his house. So still need to have things in case you get locked down that you can live on and live for an extended period of time. It is more critical now than ever that you have this stuff right now. But don't buy into the panic buying. I talked a couple days ago about the Rite Aid bankruptcy. Here's what's sick about that. In Pennsylvania alone, there's going to be over 600 people that are going to lose their jobs. 600. That is awful, guys. 600 people lose their jobs. It's 600 adults losing their job. It's not some barista kid that's working on your latte. So where do these people go? Who knows? That's the worst part about this. So I haven't seen anything yet, guys. Going to see some problems. You're going to see more businesses go down. When Wendy's is talking about this, it's only going to get worse. With all the fast food places, nobody can afford it. Here in Southern California, we have a place called Del Taco. They just did a $5, $7, and $9 meal. Those are selling more than anything else because people can't afford anything else. Drink, taco, hamburger, stuff like that. And they have different names for it and things like this. This is selling more. Taco Bell did the same thing. They had a Lux box, and it was $7. Well, now they've got like a $5, $9, and $12 Lux box. $12 meal at Taco Bell now. Isn't that crazy? This is the stuff that's selling over anything else right now. I'm going to finish this video with these last few things. First of all, we have a private channel called iAllegedly Live. You sign up at iAllegedly.tv. It's all uncensored content. It's fantastic. I love doing it for you guys. There's hundreds of videos on there. Enjoy. Check it out today. Don't forget to join our email list because we have an email going out this week. You don't want to miss that. And first thing is Walmart. Walmart is adding a delivery charge to their online orders of $6.99. And they're saying this has nothing to do with tariffs, but if you buy something under $35, they're going to charge you $6.99 to deliver it. And it was just last month, we talked about free delivery for Walmart. It's not free anymore at $6.99 for anything under $35. Now, the next thing is there are times you get a deal in business where you're like, wow, we're going to make a fortune doing this. The Krispy Kreme donut company thought that they had one lotto. Think about this. When they hooked up with McDonald's, Krispy Kreme was going to roll out having their donuts in all the McDonald's locations. Hey, you want a donut with that quarter pounder with cheese? Well, they started to roll it out. Now they're pulling back. They're saying, you know what? We don't know if this is going to be profitable or not, and we want to reevaluate this before we roll out any more locations. Think about that. They're not selling the donuts. Donuts go bad, guys. It's not like you just made a burger and you can keep it around. Donuts good for the day, and then it's done. Imagine them not selling, and you're going, wait a second, this is costing us money. And plus, you can guarantee the McDonald's deal was a bloody fortune. So, final thing was there was 413,032 people that were affected by a cyber breach in Maine, and this was from a company called Kelly Benefits, and they get name, address, social security numbers, all that stuff, and phone numbers, everything, all your personal data. Well, we're evaluating this to see it. Guys, protect yourself, protect your passwords, get the VPN, private internet access, guys. They're not even sponsoring the video, they're just a great company. But protect yourself, guys, always. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. You want to get a hold of me ever, send me a story, anything good, it's hello@iallegedly.com. Onward and upward, guys. I will see you guys very soon.